Our show, Your Miracle Resource. This show is dedicated to you, and it is also a podcast. It is all about you and your communication and how you can have influence. Today's show, we're going to talk about our book club. Our book club has been about 2 books, Your Miracle Resource, Spotlights, Discovering Your Dawn, the first book that I wrote. And as you can see today, I have some gifts by me, and these gifts will go to you. Let me explain a little bit about why they're so important. Discovering Your Dawn is a book based on a true story, a tragedy. That tragedy that happened when I was in college deeply impacted me, so much so that I didn't realize even later in life, I would be sitting at a meeting or I'd be giving a presentation and I would feel full of anxiety. What I had not done was gotten to the core of my real problem. There were things that happened during that time that I was holding back. Kind of like when people stuff down feelings, what happens is it changes the way they communicate. It changes the results they receive, the relationships they build, and the respect that they garner. So the book, Discovering Your Dawn, really helps you work through your core of the real problem. Now, maybe you're okay and you don't need any help with your communication or building your brand or your team or your revenue. But I'd love for you to give this book to someone that you know. This book, Discovering Your Dawn, will be given to someone who writes to me. I'm pretty easy to find. You can Google me. You can find me on Facebook. It's Katherine Miracle. Or you can go to the Miracle Resources website. But this book will be given to the first person who contacts me. They will win this book. Now, why is that so important? We all know people who are struggling. We all know people who are going through a lot. It's time to help them because as we see people have problems with communication and using their voice, as a communication concierge, what I do and the 50+ trainers we have across the United States, we help people build their brand, team, and revenue. But we can't do that without getting to the core of the real problem. So communication is key. Now let's talk about the second book. That is Your Strategic Personal Brand. And I want to tell a story so you can see why this is important. I realize that many of you think personal branding is just for celebrities and why do I need a personal brand? Well, I want to talk about a client who came to us. We're going to rename her. Her name, we'll call her Frankie. Frankie was a woman who worked at a corporation, and the corporation was a large corporation with tons of satellite campuses. She took a job as a director of one of those satellites. Now, she came to us because Frankie said that in her old job, she didn't have influence. People didn't listen. They didn't respect. They weren't concerned with her. She felt insignificant. She came to us for a strategic brand plan, and we worked with her on how she was communicating and how she was building relationships. She was pretty shy, and I absolutely love working with introverts. I had an anxiety disorder when I was a child called selective mutism, so I understand. I did not have a voice. When you're selectively mute, what happens is you're really shy around strangers. You've probably seen these children before. They will cling to their parent, but they will smart off to their brothers and sisters. And my siblings will tell you I certainly did. But in public, I was very shy. My mother actually worked with me and helped me to communicate, to become involved, to become engaged in very small, slow steps. That's what we do when we work with people in their brand plan. So we told Frankie we'd like her to have one-on-one meetings. She was very uncomfortable in group meetings, so we got her to one-on-one meetings, to smaller group meetings, to then larger group meetings. We asked her to meet and challenged her to meet with everyone, not only in her campus, but at the corporate headquarters. She would go early and meet with everyone on their campus. Now, they had a 2:00 meeting once a month, but we told Frankie, we want you to have meetings from 9 all the way up until 2 with people at the main headquarters. For Frankie, this was a very difficult thing. This was not something she wanted to do, but we took it one step at a time, just like my mom did with me. Frankie's anxiety went down. When her anxiety went down, she built relationships. And here's the interesting thing. Frankie told us that a coworker, we'll call her Rose, this is somebody who handled a different campus satellite than Frankie did. Rose would show up at the meeting at 1:45 for the 2:00 meeting. Did not work to build relationships, kept her head down at work, which I've been that person, work. And Rose did not build relationships. Now, you can imagine how Frankie and Rose reacted at the year-long budget meeting. After 9 months on the job, Frankie's campus was given 90% of everything that Frankie requested. Rose's campus was given 10. Now let me share with you, both of these women worked very hard. Both of them grew in their position, but Frankie just did it a different way. She used a strategic brand plan to build relationships, respect, and results. And also, we all know it is very hard to say no to someone that we've met. Frankie had been in a face-to-face meeting with everyone at that corporate headquarters in 9 months, and of course her own campus. So let me share a gift with you. This gift is for the first person who writes to me and says, look, my team in my company needs training, and I would like a free training session. If you are the first person who contacts me and says, look, my company or my team needs a free training session, you've got it. We will come in, we'll work with your whole team. We have 28 different topics, over 50 trainers across the United States. So please know this is yours. Go ahead and feel free to contact me and get your free training. Now today we've talked about getting to the core of the real problem. This is not easy to do. I had to do it myself. After the tragedy that happened to my friends, I had to realize how I was perceiving it, how I was going to change how I lived. I live now in tribute to my friends. So when I wrote Discovering Your Dawn, it's a tribute to my friends, but it also helps people get to the core of the real problem. Then we talked about part 2, and part 2 is your strategic brand plan. How will you communicate with people? How will you gather influence? How will you garner respect, build relationships, and get the results that you want? So please reach out to me. If you're the first person who reaches out, you get these great gifts. And I would like to say thank you to WCTV and especially Joanna. She sets up our shots, she works with me, and even when there's times I have a guest, sometimes there's last minute details, and she does an incredible job, the whole team here at WCTV. So I want to thank them, and I also want to ask all of you, we'll pull up a slide about our book club. We started this in December of 2018. Now, when we start the book club, please don't feel you're behind. Go ahead, pick up your book on Amazon, and you can write to me. I'll work with you one-on-one through these books. These are both workbooks that will help you. And again, you are not behind. Even though we did start some communication, we'll be doing more shows about the books, so it's not too late. So please know, our job is to help you build your brand, your team, and your revenue. It's to have awareness and as well grow the results, relationships, and respect that you need. So I serve as your communication concierge, and I'm honored to do that. I meet with people every day. I love that work. So please reach out to us. We're always here to help. Thank you so very much for joining us for your miracle resource.